Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the
One of the funniest things ever. There's 18 people online. We are live. We're back to talking about football. We're back to talking about TikTok Todd. TikTok Todd, is that volume all right? There's better. I can hear myself. Right, let's get to some comments first of all and see who is all online. Kaiser's in the house, Paul McGoon's in the house, Paul Baird's in the house, and Danny's in the house, and Tam Mac might still be kicking around. 45 people on. Right, I'm just going to go right into it. I need to go straight into it. And where is it? Not that one, it's that one. Present 2 seconds because I've lost the screenshot. And Cantwell. Todd Cantwell has decided to. This is the man who doesn't do attention. He doesn't do attention seeking. But Todd Cantwell has decided that he's going to have a go at Chris Sutton again. Bloody YouTube adverts are taking longer than ever. I know YouTube is putting out. I'll get into that anyway. YouTube's doing a thing where they're changing monetization from the beginning of November, and I think this is what they're doing. They're just hitting you with longer adverts. Anyway, hail everybody. Listen to this, because this has to be one of the funniest things ever.
What I would call what Chris Sutton does is an attention seeker. I find that very bizarre because
I find Chris Sutton an attention seeker. An attention. Let's listen to the rest of what Cantwell had to say.
Yeah, because if you had a good career, why are you sat on Twitter hammering into a lad that you had an interview with and said you're an amazing person, amazing player, and you're back at Norwich, and think that he just forgets that?
Is that sound coming through? Someone tell me if that sound's coming through. Todd Cantwell. He basically said, it must be coming through. People are laughing. He's an absolute nut job. Imagine going onto a YouTube platform as a current player in your bedroom with a laptop that looks as if it's from the 1990s. I'm going to go back and play it again because the guy is absolutely nuts.
Amazing player, and you're back at Norwich, and think that he just forgets that. So for me, it's like, this isn't even real. What he's doing is playing up to obviously his links with Celtic, and
did he about pick his nose there? Look, he's picked his nose and rolled it. He actually picked his nose and rolled it.
He needs to stay relevant, and that's sad for me, because if I'm an ex-player and I'm on Twitter tweeting a 25-year-old trying.
This is the man who is on TikTok trying to berate Celtic fans. And the quality of the audio coming through his mic is absolutely horrendous.
Trying to stay relevant. For me, I look at myself and go, yeah, what am I doing?
Mate, we're all looking at you in your bedroom with your laptop and going, he lives in a loft.
Do you know, but that's just me. Yeah. I don't know what he sat at home doing, but for me, it's like,
you're sat at home thinking about Chris Sutton.
Why are you so interested in Todd Cantwell? Why are you so interested in Rangers? Like, you played for Celtic. Fantastic. Support Celtic. Do you know?
Why are you talking about Celtic? The irony, see, this is what I love about Scottish football. Scottish football is the only football league in the world where you're not allowed to talk about other teams. I watch some YouTube channels for down south, and they regularly talk about other teams. And you don't get this whole obsessed nonsense. Where it's like, if you're talking about Rangers, you're obsessed. No, Rangers died. Todd Cantwell is now on social media talking about a Rangers player. I'm going to listen to the rest of it and see what he says.
I mean, tweet about Celtic every day. You love them, that's fine. But for me, he frustrates me, and the reason
he frustrates me. He's got a thing for him, isn't he? He's got a thing for him. He frustrates him.
had a
So
couple of chomps, and I've not chomped on. I don't chomp on matches because he spoke to me at Norwich and he told me what a fantastic footballer I was. The world's at your feet, Todd. You're a great guy, Todd. You know, all of this. And then I signed for Rangers, like, yeah, I just forget everything I said before. Right, I'm going to start a feud with you on Twitter. I'm like,
it's funny how the only show, let's get him off the screen because I've actually had enough of that. Let's remove him, get him off. I miss the pure gaslighting. He is one player that has a go at everybody on social media. For him then to take to a podcast and then the podcast just to put out that little snippet of him slagging off Chris Sutton just to get views. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Sutton's got right under his TikTok skin. He has that Sutton's in his head. So he's absolutely nuts as a player. And what's he achieved in football? Absolutely nothing. He's achieved absolutely nothing. So we'll go over it again, what Todd Cantwell said. He basically said he said Chris Sutton's an attention seeker. Can't understand why the former Celtic hero cannot focus on supporting his own team. Like I said, Scotland's the only country in the world where you can have a platform to talk about football and not talk about other teams. It's bonkers. And not that you want to talk about other teams, but when it comes to them, they're obviously talking about us quite a lot. Even the new manager. I'm going to talk about the new manager and that because we've nothing to fear for this. I've done a bit of digging about this guy, and he's a clown. He's a clown. Martin O'Neill talking about managers that achieve things. Martin O'Neill's been talking about the new Rangers managers with Jim White. Now, remember, a lot of you might not remember this because you're probably too young, but when Celtic stopped Rangers winning 10 in a row back in 1988, Jim White was working for, I think it was one of the papers, the Daily Rangers or something. He was a reporter. He was a reporter back in those days. And there's a cracking picture of him sat behind the dugout at Celtic Park when Celtic won the league. And the look on his face is absolute. I'll put it up on the community tab later on. And it's a picture of Jim White sitting behind the legend, and God rest his soul, Mr. Wim Jansen. And he's been talking to Martin O'Neill. And Martin O'Neill says, look, I don't want any of this nonsense coming for the new Rangers manager. I don't want any of this nonsense that we have a 3-year plan. He says, he's obviously Clement, the Orange Man, said he's hugely excited about the chance to achieve success in Europe. Right. I've done a bit of digging and I'm going to pull up his stats. Right. Now, he obviously was at Club Brugge for a while in Belgium. It's not one of the best leagues in the world, but it's Belgium. They've got a cracking international team. Don't get me wrong, but it was at Club Brugge. Now, you would think that this was all kind of relevant and modern and that he'd won all these titles and everything, but when you look at it, he was actually the caretaker manager at Club Brugge back in 2012 when Rangers died. Ironically enough, he was the caretaker manager. He was the Club Brugge under-21 manager. And he's basically been at Club Brugge, and then he went to Monaco, and then he was kicked out the job at Monaco. So is Club Brugge really a standard that we should be worried about? When it comes to Europe, maybe, yeah, but is he going to be able to do anything at Celtic? I don't really think so. And that's it. He's a man that's came in and just, he's not even a proper orangeman. He's a Clementine. Exactly. He's a Clementine. Oh, no, I don't even get me started because there was a cracker of a video. I was going to put it up, actually. And it's, my phone's off. I think I put it up on Twitter. But anyway, crying White was, Paul Baird, Craig White was about in tears. And the picture that I'll put it up on the community tab, it was absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. In fact, just for the giggles, we're going to listen to Todd Cantwell again because you can never get enough of nonsense from a Sevconian player. He's already the best manager in Scotland, according. Right, give me 2 seconds because I'm going to go back to here. Two seconds. Right, let's just get this back to here and we'll put it back on the screen. And we'll play this. We'll play it again. Exactly what he says about Chris Sutton.
I would call what Chris Sutton does is an attention seeker.
I would call what Chris Townsend is. This is the man, Mr. TikTok himself.
I find that very bizarre because because if you had a good career, why are you sat on Twitter hammering into a lad that you had?
There, hammering into a lad. Hammering into a lad. Why are you sitting hammering into a lad? He's absolutely, honestly, God. Out of work and sacked. Yep, has been. That is talking about the South Korean manager. And I'll go back to it. Scotland is the only place where if you talk about another team for any length of time, you're obsessed. And you never see this in any of the other podcasts that I watch down south or even in Spain. You know, they just talk about it. Anyway, let's get to some of the comments and see what you have to say to it today. Hi, Hail Baz from Burnt Island. Did you see my petrol codes? Yes, I did. I did see that. When Pedro Cohixa put out a video to Celtic when they won the league back in the day and then got the Rangers manager. He's a football pundit. What's called? That's exactly. He's a football pundit. Of course he's going to be talking about. Paul Baird says they couldn't care less about the Celtic manager. Celtic will win the league this season, no problem. Exactly. And I think we all agree with that. No matter what some attention seeker says. I can't believe they call Chris Sutton attention seeker when it's his job. He gets paid to talk about football. He gets paid to talk about football, you know, and Twitter's one of these things where it just keeps them in the limelight. And all ex-players do. All ex-players. Attention seeker. Anyway. Baz, lost my spanner. Have you been sacked? No, I took everyone's spanners off them. I'll tell you about it some other time. But to be honest, I felt it kind of done some damage to the channel. And the channels took a bit of a hit this week. So I took the spanners off everyone until we get the channel back onto a level playing field. Anyway, greetings from Louisiana. Whoa, get that one up on the screen because we are truly a football fan base that is all around the world. Clement can do his right tie. He's the man for the job. It's a nice crisp knot. Yeah, it is that. Anyway, what other Celtic news is kicking about? Fair is fair, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you about it later. The channel did take a bit of a backlash, but the backlash was all about Liel Abada and Near Beaton. I wasn't going to go over this, but it's Celtic news and it's relevant, right? And what this channel is all about is bringing you the Celtic news, and the Celtic news that's out there today is Liel Abada will bounce back from Celtic. There hasn't been a Celtic feud with Liel Abada, right? So let's get this straight. This is just the papers and everybody's making a big deal out of something that wasn't. Near Bitton sends him a message over his future, and Near Bitton has spoke. I went and checked out the article, actually. It was in the Israeli news or something. Jerusalem news. Near Bitton insists that Liel Abada will return from his injury stronger than ever before, despite by people back in his homeland telling him to quit Celtic. The Israeli international Liel Abada held talks with the Celtic hierarchy. There were people saying that he wants to leave. But Near Bitton said, look, I was critical of the Green Brigade, but let's put this into perspective. We're not talking about the people of Israel. He went on and says, we're talking about a terrorist group that caused this. We're not talking about the people of Israel. He reckons that Abada, that is under contract until 2027, will come back and be stronger and play stronger after his thigh injury. Bitton said he will come back stronger. There is no war between Palestinians and the Israelis. The war is against the terror organisation, which should be publicly condemned. And it has been condemned. That's enough, and that's we're going moving on from that, and we talk about it no more, right? We talk about it no more. And anyway, Hogmanay and Abada as well, and says it's Near Bitton, right? We're going to call on that. We're going to move back to Celtic news because that's what the channel's about. And all I'm doing is I'm giving you Celtic news. Rangers outcast subject to brutal swipe from former Celtic man Martin O'Neill. Glasgow Evening Times. Martin O'Neill fires an immediate must win to Felipe Clement. I've got orange trees in my gardens, actually. I've probably got clementines in my garden. That's no kidding, actually. I do. I've got orange trees in my garden. Probably more orange than Clemente. Anyway, back to the Celtic news. Martin O'Neill says that he doesn't want any nonsense for Felipe. He doesn't want this 3-year plan nonsense. He says he needs to come out and tell them that they're going to win because, let's face it, Celtic are that far in front of him. Stevie Clarke sends an emotional message to the Tartan Army after Scotland. Well, Scotland did. They managed to get through without winning. Whenever we're going to talk about Scotland for a minute, because it's unusual for anybody under the age of, say, about 27. In fact, anyone under the age of 30, this is an unusual thing for you, seeing Scotland actually qualify automatically for an international event. Because usually it's the hard luck story. For the past 25 years, it's been the hard luck story as far as Scotland is concerned. For the second time, with 2 games to go, Scotland have managed to qualify for Germany next year, along with Spain. And it was all thanks to Spain beating Holland in a completely weird game because Spain actually got a goal offside also. Give us a briefing on what's happened. What happened? Just on Stevie Boy, Cantwell hasn't learned. Right, come on, we'll do the Cantwell story again because there's people just coming on again. Daily Mail headline: incoming YouTuber grass orange roots. Celtic YouTuber has orange roots because he's got orange trees in his garden. Oh my God, could you imagine that? I've also got lemon trees, but we're on. Right, let's get Todd Cantwell back up. I need to get the story back. And what he said about Big Chris Sutton. Right, here it goes. Are you ready for this? We're going to go over it again. Mr. Attention Seeker himself, Todd Cantwell, was interviewed, and they only put out, the funny thing is, they only put out the whole thing, they put out this 1 minute 42 section.
What I would call what Chris Sutton does is an attention seeker. I find that very bizarre because if you had a good career, why are you sat on Twitter hammering into a lad that you had an interview with and said you're an amazing person, amazing player, and you're back at Norwich and think that he...
This is Mr. Todd can't win anything. He's never won anything in his career.
Just forgets that. So for me, it's like, this isn't even real. What he's doing is playing up to, obviously, his links with Celtic.
And you would think with the money that Todd Cantwell's on, he would buy a new laptop that maybe had a better microphone, because that laptop, it sounds older than mine. So I'm reckoning his laptop must be about the same age as him. Maybe he got it from his mum and dad.
You know, he needs to stay relevant, and that's sad for me, because if
he needs to stay relevant. This is the man whose team has had nothing relevant happen to them in the last couple of seasons, and he's on social media. He's on a platform talking about an ex-Celtic player and playing the victim. Unbelievable.
I'm an ex-player and I'm on Twitter tweeting a 25-year-old trying to stay relevant. For me, I'd look at myself and go, yeah, what am I doing? Do you know, but that's just me. I don't know what he sat at home.
I'm going to cut that there, because the irony of what I just said, he said, if I'm sitting at home and I'm talking about what he's basically said, if I'm sitting as an ex-Celtic player, if I'm sitting at home talking about a Rangers player, I'm thinking, what am I doing? But here's a current Rangers player sitting talking about an ex-Celtic player. He's a total... Yeah, it is. Stuart Ramsey, you got it right. You got it in one. Sevco provides players with laptops from AliExpress. Oh, don't do that, because... let's say, let's smash that mob. Hearts on Sunday, let's get into them. Who is she? Is she a YouTuber? Allegedly, she plays for Rangers. Actually, has he got his hair cut? No, she's got her ponytail in. I don't think he's got his blue ribbon, and I don't know what this fluff thing is going on. Anyway, big game this weekend. Big game that's coming up this weekend. We do play away, and let's face it, what do you think the score will be? It's only Monday. Should we be talking about the game already, or should we be talking about some Celtic news? There's not a lot of Celtic news kicking around. Obviously, a lot of the players have still got a game to go with their international teams before they come back. I'll read you some of the headlines that's now coming out Let's not lie, Todd Cantwell now shares his honest feelings about Celtic as a club. Rangers outcast subjects to brutal swipe as former Celtic man insight. Martin O'Neill fires must-win immediate warning to Felipe Clement. Let's get this is more from this interview getting leaked out about Todd Cantwell. Stop sharing that. He's obviously been. This is the man that just said, and what is he doing? Talking about what's an ex-Celtic player doing? Talking about Rangers. Now, Todd Cantwell, it's now been said. I knew there was a big rivalry, but didn't know how big it was. And effectively, it's what it is bragging rights. He said it's a bragging rights. So when you win, it's bragging rights. But when you win the league, that's winning the league, mate. Celtic are obviously, let's not lie, I'm a Rangers player. I love Rangers. I just told you that Celtic are a good team, said Todd Cantwell. There's no need for me to lie about it. Why did they not put that out on record? Why didn't they put that out on video? I wonder that. It's strange that they didn't put that one out on video. They're a good team. They're another team that up here are feared heavily, rightly so. It's us two teams. Over the last 6 to 8 years, they've come out on top most, right? With a question mark. So ultimately, they've got the bragging rights at the moment, is the way I see it. And I'm here to try and change that. There is definitely a window, and there's an opportunity to switch that around. Oh, come on, Todd. I said it's up to the players and it's up to us to flip it around, because obviously it's been years. It's just been them for years. That's Todd Cantwell now admitting Todd Cantwell can't stop talking about Celtic, and he's admitted that Celtic are the better team and that he's up here and it's just bragging rights. It's just bragging rights. Jesus, God. Anyway, if he gets to a final in a European competition, we wish him luck. He would have done well at Sevco, but let's face it, if he even manages, well, there's every chance that they might win a cup this season, but who cares? You just can't get enough of Celtic. Anyway, it's great when they open their mouth. It's absolutely fantastic when they open their mouths and they just keep on talking about Celtic. Let's see if there's any Celtic other news kicking around. Everyone's going with the Todd Cantwell stuff now. It's hilarious. This will be a story that grabs headlines out tomorrow morning. There's not a lot more kicking around. Brendan Peake tells us there's not. It's one of those days where this point in the week, Celtic news-wise, it's going to be a bit of a lull, and then we'll get to tomorrow. The players will come back Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's get ready for the game at the weekend. Big, massive game at the weekend. And Clement has a nightmare. I should take pictures of me with the orange trees. It's cost. Their pods cannot stop talking about the Celtic. It is honestly, it's funny because when you go into social media and they went through a whole thing saying that Celtic were obsessed, Celtic fans were obsessed, but it seems to be the only league in the world, football podcast that I watch, that if you speak about another club, you're obsessed. And if you don't speak about it, anyway. Let's get to the weekend. JGB says 3-1 Celtic away at Hearts with only 576 fans. I wonder if the SPL will make a change to the current situation, and if the SPL will even vote on it. You know what the SPFL are like. Let's hear Big Sutton reply. We know he will. I think Chris Sutton he'll probably take to Twitter. It would be interesting. I'd love to get an interview with Big Chris Sutton. Love to get an interview with him. My wee nephew's in Salou. So that, it is, but it's not the right spelling, but I know where you are. It's way up. It's near Barcelona. Anyway, let's get to some of the comments and just get a bit of a giggle, because Cantwell just can't cut it at all. Sutton would throw him about in an empty shell suit. With that, Chris Sutton played multiple positions in extremely strong Celtic team and in Europe. Henrik Larsson rated him as one of the best, says David. You remember that Chris Sutton actually played a game in defence for Celtic. Cantwell doesn't stop talking about Celtic. He couldn't lace Big Sutton's boots, says Chris. Let's get some of the comments up. As soon as the big games come up, who's missing in action? Exactly, Stevie boy. Who's missing in action every time the big games come up? Because let's face it, anybody can beat Celtic once Celtic have won the league and down tools. Oh, they didn't down tools. We know what happened. The manager changed all the players, and that's the only reason that they won that game last season. On the way back from Tunisia, looking. Let's get this one up. James says he's on his way back from Tunisia, looking forward to winding them all up. Even there, 2 trophies in 11 years. 2 trophies in 11 years. Go to Salou if you want to be pickpocketed, said Danny. No, you go to Barcelona if you want to be pickpocketed. It's really bad in Barcelona. But it's only really one street in Barcelona. There's only really one street in Barcelona. Savage, I agree, Stevie. 11 years. And they're still at high school levels. Yep, they're not even football stars under Clementine. Oh my darling, no my darling, no my darling Clementine, you lost the league and you're gone forever. Oh my darling Clementine. That's the one and only time that'll be sung. That'll be their song. That'll be their song. You lost the league and now you're gone forever. Oh my darling Clementine. Anyway, how long have we been on? We've been on for around about 25 minutes. And if you missed that on the live, you probably missed one of the funniest moments that you'll never ever get to see again. So there's no way that will be a song. That will be a song. Celtic girls play Rangers on Sunday. Also, says Zest. I believe that there was more tickets went on sale today, wasn't there? I used to sign Sutton and old Football Manager games before we signed them because you could play in defence. Lol, says Yogi. Richard, and the fact we had a cup final to play after the very last game. The Rangers just joined. What have I missed? Jesus. Oh, I'm not going over it again. You missed me singing the new Rangers song that they'll be singing at the end of the season. You heard we had Chris Sutton tried to get ripped to death by the one and only Todd Cantwell. Todd Cantwell says that Chris Sutton is an attention seeker. Todd Cantwell took to his bedroom on a laptop from 1995 and went on a podcast. Anyway, hi guys, nice looking birds. God, great show, Baz. Hail. That's it. Kaiser, you get the last word. I'm done and dusted for the evening. I'm going to smash that like strip. Yes, make sure to smash the likes. How many likes do we have? Get onto this one. There are only 43 likes and there's 180 watching. It is just a quick live tonight. I will be going live again on Wednesday evening around about the same time. And then there's going to be a few changes. I will bring in the lives again at 8 o'clock at night, Celtic Park time. Purely for the fact that I know a lot of you like to go and do the wind-up thing on that other radio show. So on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around.